How many of you, if given the chance, would save a life? Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Welcome, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. How many of you, if given a chance, would save a life? Well, it's somewhat of a rhetorical question. The answer is, of course, sure. If you could, you would save a life. Well, I'm wondering, how many of you here have already saved a life? How many in the room here have ever given blood? Just by a show of hands. Okay? Keep your hand up if you've given blood more than once. Okay. That's about what I'd expect. Toastmasters, in general, are very giving. It makes sense that a lot of Toastmasters would donate blood. Well, I started donating blood about 20 years ago. My father was in the hospital and he needed blood. The doctor came out and told us that they typically like to do a trade where if he needed blood, he needed several pints, and they wanted us to donate an equivalent amount or more, and we could bank that blood, so to speak. He asked for volunteers. We all had that sort of deer in the headlights look and said, "Are you talking to me?" Well, of course he was, and of course we did all donate blood that day. That's how I started donating blood. I started because my father needed it. Why do you think you will start? Today, I hope to inspire you and give you a call to action so that you too will want to go out and sign up to donate blood. A couple things you should know. 1 out of every 10 people that go into the hospital, 1 out of every 10 need blood. In the Puget Sound area, just here in Pacific Northwest, 800 pints of blood are needed every day. So I look at that as an opportunity for each of you to find those 800 donors to keep the blood supply level. You can donate blood every 56 days. So that means 6 times a year you can donate blood. If giving a pint to save a life isn't enough, there's always the extra added benefit. So for those of you that have given blood before, you know this. It's the free cookies. That's right, free cookies and apple juice. That's another reason to get and donate blood, to give a pint and save a life. Well, for me, I'm also a pretty competitive guy. When I donate blood, after I've gone through all the screenings and they've tested me for anemia and they've taken out that first vial of blood and gone through the whole screening process, I like to look around the room just before they put the needle in and see who's pretty close on donating blood. The people that just started or the people that are maybe even halfway through, I'm watching them because I'm a competitive guy. I want to finish pumping my blood out before they do. Maybe it's juvenile, but it's fun and it entertains me. And I still get to donate a pint of blood and potentially save a life. What's the tip on that? Drink a lot of water. Drink at least 12 ounces, preferably 24, maybe even 36 ounces of water before you go in to donate, and your blood will flow out much more quickly. Well, I'm not going to steer you wrong. I'm not going to mislead you. When you sign up to donate blood, they do stick a needle right in your arm, and it's a pretty big sized bore needle, and they do pump out that blood. That's what you signed up for. And some people get a little squeamish about that, but you don't need to. For me, I've got my own secret. My secret is something that maybe others in the room share, and maybe others are embarrassed about or self-conscious of, but for me, it just happens. It's just something that happens when I donate blood. My secret is I pass out. Yep. And the response I get is pretty much like that. I get a couple of chuckles, a couple of laughs, but the truth is, I do pass out. And every time I go through that process and I go through all the screening and they ask me, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And I always answer with the exact same thing. Absolutely. That's a small price to pay to give a pint and save a life. Well, what if you can't donate? What if you cannot donate? There are a lot of people that for whatever reason can't donate blood. Well, there are lots of other volunteering opportunities for you. If you can swing a golf club, There's a Newcastle Golf Club that Puget Sound Blood Center puts on. If you can swing your hips, there's also a dance charity that's put on. But my favorite for donating blood is the donor party, named sort of after the Donner Party that about 100 years ago or so were trying to cross Donner Pass near Lake Tahoe, and some of the people didn't make it. Well, the donor party, they do make it. What they do is they make it all the way across Lake Washington. They swim 1 mile across Lake Washington, and then they donate a pint of blood. Those guys are real heroes. Those guys are hardcore. So where do you go to get more information? Well, I'll tell you about 2 websites and 1 phone number. redcross.org. redcross.org is one website. The other website is givelife.org. givelife.org. And the phone number is 1-800-GIVE-LIFE. Pretty simple. That's all you need to know. I hope this speech has inspired you to take some action, to go out and sign up, to give a pint, and save a life. Next time I see you, I hope to hear about your success story, and your success story that this speech inspired you to do something. Or perhaps next time we're at the donation center and I see you on the table next to me, I'm going to be looking at your bag to see how far along you are, because I'll tell you what, the race is on to give a pint, save a life.